All right, David. Now it's time for the Bennettarium rap. 3, 2, 1, kick it.
Am I doing the beat?
Yes, I said kick it. You better start kicking it.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, it's time to go. It's time for the Bennettarium show. We're gonna talk about the things like video games and other things. Bennettarium, yeah.
Kicking it old school. Welcome to the Bennettarium, the podcast with the members of Steam Powered Giraffe. I'm Isabella Bunny Bennett. I can't. Mouse too bad.
I'm Brian Whistling Barbrin.
I'm David Whistling Barbrin. No, Bennett.
I'll just whistle for you, don't worry.
Okay.
Let's get it.
I don't think it's actually possible to whistle in.
Is it a genetic thing?
No,
is that what's going on?
No, it's a location thing. It's too dry where Bunny is.
Welcome to episode 69.
Wait, hold on. Now you hold on.
Wait, hold on. What did you say, Bunny? Wait, I think we were talking over you. What did you say?
It's the 69th episode.
Whoa! Nice.
I thought we had like 100 at least by now.
Nope.
Nope.
Well, it's 69th. Okay.
And we've been doing it for how many years? No, but that's because we started doing it every other month.
Oh yeah.
And there was like 4 months that we went off a couple times, so it's we stretch it.
Which is fine because the more time for content and the less time for talking and recording is probably better anyways.
But I know there's some people who just only know us from the podcast, don't even listen. No, I don't know. Maybe. Wouldn't that be weird? Like, does someone just listen to our podcast but doesn't like our music?
No, the numbers don't show that. I don't think.
I don't know. We gotta check those numbers.
I mean, could you imagine if we hunkered down and we thought of a really good podcast idea, and you know what I mean? Like, I think we could do it, but that's not what this podcast is.
I don't know how anyone does a podcast. Like, at some point, you got to be like sick of hearing your own voice and your own opinion. Am I wrong? Maybe not. I guess it's just because some people do it like every day. Like every day, they got something to say for like hours. Like I can't possibly think of another word I can fit in. Like,
I mean, it might be easier if you have other people telling you what to do. Like if you're doing it by yourself, I guess focus on one thing. But I know for us, we all have like a million different things to do.
True.
So like for me, it's like getting in podcast mode after like making music. Like
it's different.
It's not all smooth. I hate seeing that bar that pops up on the video. I thought I fixed that. That's not really important. No one can see the video, so I'm just talking for the.
I can, and I can notice the bar that's popping up.
Hey,
it's really annoying.
Let's plug the video version of this Bennettarium podcast. If you're a Patreon patron, for $5 a month, you too can watch all the archived video streams of us doing the Bennettarium.
Let's also plug up this hole in our boat. Go ahead and plug that real quick, and hopefully we'll stop singing.
Now, we have Bennettarium questions to get to, which is pretty much the star of this podcast, I suppose, that our patrons ask us. But I just wanted to say, everyone's talking about the Matrix craze. It's coming back.
Wow.
Neo's
Everyone's
back.
talking about it.
Everyone's talking about it. Just want to say that we have an exclusive clip from Warner Brothers.
Whoa.
Warner Brothers is the company that does Matrix, right?
Are you kidding me right now?
We have an exclusive clip.
Kidding me.
But they told us we could not play the audio.
Okay.
Fair enough. I'll do the best of reading lips. Okay.
No, you can't see it either. You can't see it. You can't see it either. So yeah, you're not gonna be able to hear it. You're not gonna be able to see it. But just watch our reactions. Okay. Exclusive clip from the new Matrix movie. Matrix I forget the name of it.
Revelations or Revolutions?
Wasn't that already one of the other ones?
Matrix Red Dead Redemption.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna watch it, and you guys just be quiet for a bit. We just listen to our reactions.
Okay.
There he is, our boy.
Our boy, the one.
Oh, he's the one. He's still the one. After all these years.
Is that who I think it is?
No way. They said he wasn't going to be in it.
No way. I thought he died in the MMO.
No, they can't do that. Is that canon?
Yeah, it's canon.
Wait,
I paid $12 a month.
Are you kidding me? James Earl Jones? I mean, I'm sorry.
Kidnapped or killed, because that usually is the premise of a Keanu Reeves movie.
I mean, that's the only thing you do is save somebody.
Whoa, I was not expecting that. Did they really just spoil that part of the movie? Wow. That's the end of it.
You know what? That's why I don't watch trailers anymore. They just ruin the whole thing, although it was incredible.
In a world where machines control control everything, and you're in a VR thing, one guy will get out of it and learn kung fu and save the day. The end.
And they'll probably hang out.
Realize that reality is not as good as what's inside the...
And you want to come back and have steak.
Like, what if that's how... Because that's how trailers used to be, right? They basically showed the whole plot of the movie, and they're like, come watch it. Now that we're talking about it.
All right.
Like, if you watch old trailers from, like, the 50s and stuff, it pretty much...
That's what trailers are now.
Yeah.
Trailers will give you everything. Like, every, like, really cool big moment. They're like, then this cool moment happens, and this cool moment... And then you watch the movie, you're like... Well, all right, there was nothing cool, but...
Well, if you're a certain Marvel movie, it's like, look at all these cool moments. Now just imagine other characters in those moments that we digitally edited out. And then you got your movie. I was talking about Spider-Man.
I haven't watched a single trailer for Spider-Man. I'm avoiding it at all costs.
They did the same with Avengers Endgame, right? They because they didn't want people to know about, like, what the Hulk looks like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
exciting, another Spider-Man movie. Oh my gosh, here we go again.
I mean, Spider-Verse, I'm really excited about that.
Oh yeah, that little teaser was...
That's a different story. Oh no, that's a different story.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to continue. It was a good movie.
So how's everyone doing? It's been... Last time that the internet knows that we talked to each other was in October. Well, patrons know because we do other stuff, but... this is a public podcast, so they haven't heard from us in a minute.
Well, we did Turkey Day. That was uneventful, and just getting ready for the holidays. I'm still in Texas on my phone, and yeah, I guess I'm coming back this weekend. I haven't been in San Diego for like 2 months.
Where are you, Brian?
I mean, nothing much. I was recently bit by a radioactive spider, and I kind of passed out for a long bit. But when I woke up, I felt stronger than ever. And then my Uncle Ben died, and I had to save him. And then Christina Ricci? No, that's not Christina Ricci. Kristen Dunst is my girlfriend. And I've been watching a lot of Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I don't know if is that the best Spider-Man or the worst Spider-Man? I don't know, but it's a Spider-Man.
Nostalgia for it, for sure. But
it's definitely a Spider-Man, and I've watched it. And now I'm trying to replicate everything that Tobey Maguire does, including Seabiscuit.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man has spider butts on his wrists. Compared to the other ones, because he has the genetic spider web in his hands.
Two spider butts on his wrists.
Whereas all the other ones have the cartridges,
Yeah, I think that's gonna be awkward in the new movie. That's gonna be the most awkward thing.
I'm sure they're gonna well, wait, no spoilers. No one knows, but we all know. Everyone knows, but no one's pretending. Everyone's pretending to not know what's.
Everyone's just set up since the beginning. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna have a Spider-Man movie, and all the Spider-Man's gonna be in it, and all the villains are gonna be in it." And they're like, "Oh, you surprised? And all the Spider-Mans and all the villains in it?" Like, no, because that's what your opening line was. That stop ruining shit for me. I was gonna see it was Spider-Man. I was gonna see it no matter what.
No, I mean, who else is gonna be in it? That's kind of unexpected, right?
Ooh.
We don't spoil anything. I don't know.
Michael Keaton.
If I say anything, it kind of spoils it. So,
Anyway,
Michael Keaton's Batman.
Don't worry. In a few months,
when super movies that are out there right now. Maybe some that came to streaming recently.
Oh, you're probably talking about Hawkeye or something.
No. I could be talking about a movie with Tom Hardy in it.
Is Uncharted coming? Whoa!
You guys didn't see Let There Be Carnage?
No.
What? Okay,
It did get better reviews than the first one, but I liked the first one. I thought it was okay.
It's directed by Andy Serkis. It was all right. It's pretty solid. Yeah.
You know what? I watched the Jungle Book. It wasn't the greatest.
The Jungle Book?
It
was weird.
Wait, Jungle Book?
Andy Serkis has a Jungle Book. It's on Netflix. You could watch it. It's a live action one. It's weird.
Way different than the other one. That
the CGI is so creepy, and the pacing's just weird in it. You know, but I'll watch anything with Andy Serkis. So
it's weird because that other Jungle Book came out like a few years before. Why
would you do it again? Why would you make this happen again? He's like, it's from a different perspective. Mowgli. It's always from Mowgli's perspective, bro. Like, we know.
And it doesn't have Christopher Walken singing as a giant orangutan.
I'm the king of the swingers. Hey, Jungle VIP. Hey, all right.
They couldn't performers, but here's Bill Murray singing.
Hey, I can't sing, but
wait, Necessity, whatever it's called, that song.
Why do they cast a bunch of people who can't sing in a musical? Like, they cast.
It feels like a pseudo musical. It's like it's
not even really singing. Yeah,
it's just a bunch of talk singers. Like, hey, let's ruin these classic songs with this weird improv. They did it in Lion King too. You're like, what? You Scar can't sing. Pumbaa can't sing. You hired Seth Rogen. Get out of here, Disney.
I did not like Lion King.
I didn't watch that one.
Well, I've seen this before. You literally just remade the cartoon, but the cartoon had more pleasing visuals because there was nothing creative about any of the shots or anything. It was it felt like a documentary, and the animals just started singing. And it's like none of the fun fantasy stuff that exists in the cartoon is there. Like the cool shots, the cool colors. Like it's just what.
Here's my biggest pet peeve with it, and it's also a good analogy for all of the remakes. Instead of "Be Prepared," one of the coolest songs in the Lion King, they cut it in half. But they gave us a very new scene, where Simba's fur floats through the air for 10 minutes until it gets into a pile of poop, and then we watch that pile of shit climb up the hill for another 15 minutes until. That's it. It was 15 minutes of the movie watching poop travel to a baboon, and then the baboon's like, "Oh, Simba!" I was like, "Get out of here! Why do we spend so much time watching that? I don't care."
That's weird. I don't remember that.
You don't remember it?
I didn't watch the movie. But also, Steam Powered Giraffe released a new music video since the last.
Talking about Lion King.
Yeah, it was a big pile of poop. They kept rolling it up.
I'm stretching.
And another thing about Lion King, why did Beyonce have so many random lions towards the end?
Beyonce's in it?
She's like, lions attack. And I was like,
why did Beyonce sing that? Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Did she?
No, she has a. Are you kidding me? Beyonce had her own song for sure. They wrote a song for her. Or she wrote a song.
Shadowlands too.
She sang Shadowlands. That's right, from the musical. Yeah.
Or from the Broadway one.
But Steam Powered Giraffe has a new music video. It's a cover of Lana Del Rey's song "Summertime Sadness." So go check that out if you haven't already. It features a spine as well as harmonies by Rabbit and Zero.
Yay! It's fun. Recorded that remotely here. That was interesting.
Yeah,
sounds good.
We've talked about it before, but we've definitely been doing remote stuff since the start of the pandemic. Not too much stuff in person, but yeah, all of our half of 1896 is recorded remotely, and it worked out pretty well. Should we jump to these Bennettarium questions?
Let's do some questions.
Sure.
Okay, so these are questions submitted by our $10 patrons. They're able to submit as many questions as they want, and we pick one per Bennettarium episode. So sometimes these are a few months old, but let's just jump right into it. And I guess I'll read it on my phone. Okay. And actually, I see a few that have 2 here. And since it's been a few months and it's the end of the year, let's just clear out all these if you guys don't mind. It's not like 40 questions, but let's just. Some people have 2 questions.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah. If we see we're running out of time, then we'll save them for February.
It'll be a Christmas tragedy.
Okay. Emily asks, for David and Bunny, do you guys have any certain ideas for voices for some of the comic characters, like Peter and Loriane? I guess that's Peter the Sixth and all that.
That's a good question. Yeah, actually, David and I talked about Peter a while back, and we always thought he kind of had like a lighter voice. I think David does the Peter voice.
Well, we did it for one of our shows when we had like a voiceover, but we only did that once or twice.
Yeah, he's just kind of a soft-spoken guy, I guess. But
we figured it sounded like us.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense too because and that the robots kind of sound like him too. It makes sense because, well, as we age, he's the same age as us, so we felt like one of us could always play it. It's obviously going to be David.
But you never know if it turns into something that Netflix picks up. They're just going to cast someone that's not us, most likely, and that'll be that.
Lorraine Keaton, I don't know if there's like a vocal stand-in that I could like say, but like I don't know. I can't do I can only do kind of like deeper women's voices. We just hire someone who fit the part.
So I think we at least have an idea of at least Peter. What about someone Lorraine?
Lorraine Keaton, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But like Norman and all that, as Norman probably sounds like a little bit of like the Hunchback of Notre Dame or something from the old movie. Does he talk in that one? I can't remember. He probably started like an Igor type, because he started out as like an Igor type character, like in a stage show we did, and then wasn't he kind of like? Argh! Yeah. But then we made him like less.
Yeah, less.
We made him like actually like super intelligent, and maybe he still sounds like this, but.
You'd probably get you'd find a voice actor, or you'd find a quirk that would be his thing. After
Joe DiMaggio can be
Joe.
Yeah, basically, just do Bender voice. Cool. And then Emily also has a question for Brian. If Zero hasn't gotten big from Zero's house, how else would he have gotten his fame? We're getting into the lore, so all this stuff is from our comics or a backstory on our website. Thanks for asking these questions.
How else would he have gotten fame? He would have been infamous for something like ridiculous, like accidentally sinking an important ship or something. It wouldn't have been something. It would have been something good, like he pushed over the pyramids or something like that. Like robot pushed over the pyramids by accident.
Yeah, at least.
So you'd be infamous.
Yeah, he'd be infamous.
A lot more horrible than it sounds. That was the name. I'm not talking that he hurt his friends.
Hey, look at that brick up there. I think that brick's out of place. Oh no! That's it. That's how Zero would be famous.
Yeah. And then Zero's trying to he's like, oh, did I do that? Whoops.
Yeah.
And they're like, sorry. Zero, you can't get out of this one. I'm sorry. The humans hate you now. It doesn't matter how adorable you are. But I put on this little sailor's uniform.
This just sounds like another.
Whoopsie. I made a boo-boo.
It just sounds like another episode of Zero's House.
Oh, is that the H1.1? Sorry.
And by the end of the episode, you're just in a crib. You're you're seeing what age you have to be to for people to forgive you.
I think I saw Moe.
And they're like, this just in, Zero. They've exonerated you. And they're like, cool, let's bounce. And you jump in a hot rod car and spin out.
Thank goodness. All right, y'all. Let's get out of here. Life is a highway. I'm all right.
There you go. Cool. That would be a Steam Powered Giraffe radio adventure. If radio adventure is really hard to record with the delay, so someday we'll get back to doing those. Cool. Yeah. Look, we got all the ideas. It doesn't matter that it doesn't propel a bigger plot forward. It's just that's pretty funny, right?
Excuse me.
Okay. Cinder for David. Will the Vice Quadrant calendar be reprinted for 2022? No, because we didn't do it in time for one, and the sales weren't super great. But I think it is something we'll probably do in the future again, just because we have all the art for it, and we would like to make our money back in the future. Because yeah, Sam did a bunch of new art for it and all that. And you know, it's a calendar, so you can only sell it. Like we should probably start selling it in October for the next year or something. And then of course, if you buy too many, then you have to sell them through the rest of the year and keep discounting them every 6 months.
But I think can you still purchase art prints from those or no?
Yeah.
So if you do like the new art.
Oh yeah. We still have the art prints.
You can buy those. You can buy those as a collection and make your own calendar.
Yeah, if you want. But yeah, we sell both. Or actually, I think we sold the last of the calendars already. I think so. Yeah, we'll do it in the future, but not for 2022. Just had too many things logistically going on, and it wasn't like a big seller. So yeah,
It's really cool though. Their art's like amazing. So I definitely would. If you want to order some prints and support the band and Sam, do it.
Okay. Let's see. This one I can only answer. This one's for Chelsea, so here's another one for me. Jesse asks for David. Have you ever just casually walked into a store, like a Target or something, as the Spine? And if not, would you? No, I don't think I would. I definitely wouldn't go into a store if I didn't have to in makeup and costume. Because you, as street performers who have done that for a number of years, like, or you might feel at home at a convention and stuff, people might know you. But outside of that, everyone's going to stop and ask you questions, and it does take longer to get things done. But as far as like being in character and stuff, I always thought I was weird as a kid, but I think weird as a badge of honor is like, I'm pretty down to earth. I don't attention seek and stuff like that. So I don't think I was a very quirky kid. I was very shy and stuff. And even in my adulthood, I'm still like, I don't want to draw attention to myself. When I'm on stage, absolutely. But I think it kind of sums up your personality when, like, when in high school, like the teachers who would like talk about the Bennetts or whatever would be like, oh, they're so shy and calm in class, and then they get up on stage and they're crazy people. And like I think that kind of shows, we're performers, we can bring the energy and stuff. But like in the day-to-day life, I'm pretty chill and.
Yeah, I don't want to draw too much attention to myself in general. But like but that's why when you're doing a show and stuff, there's a purpose behind it. And I like dressing up and like doing weird things, but like not. Yeah, I don't want to go out in makeup and robot makeup more than I have to, because it's not so much that it's embarrassing. It's just like you're just gonna get stopped all.
And like we've been in those situations at a convention where you're that. You're flipping a switch. You're in performance mode or you're in your regular thing, and sometimes you're not able to do that during the middle of a show. So any chance to, tone it down. But I think that's everyone. Like I think any of us can be funny people and be entertaining in a peer group of some sort. Like Brian's pretty much that person in any group he goes to, from just my perspective. Like
for sure, yeah.
But I know, that's like. But I think all of us. All like our quiet, alone rest time as well. So we're all performers in some sense. Some in social situations more than others, but
yeah.
But yeah, who knows how that develops? Yeah,
it's balance. You gotta.
We do to counterpoint that question. We do actually, we do find ourselves doing movements that we're not really aware of. I get called on that a few times in like. When they see videos of us that we're not in character, we're just doing other stuff, and they're like, oh, the way he walks, and I'm not really aware of that stuff, but every once in a while, it's hard to separate maybe because we've been doing it for so many years. Like when I try to do a little bit of performance or talking, I might stiffen up or something, but I don't know. I wouldn't be aware of that myself. Okay. This person got the answer to their question with some other patrons, but they said they would leave the question just so we could possibly use it for the Bennettarium. Okay, so James asks, what is going on in Latum Alterum? I can make sense of the lyrics, but the music video throws in those demon things. I assume those are played by Chelsea and Camille, and that's where I lose all understanding of it.
Yeah, I mean, the song's about kind of your personal demons and kind of making friends with them, basically. It's definitely symbolic, and like I definitely feel that. I don't know. To me, it makes sense. And
I mean, just you saying that makes just connects it all real quick. You know.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. I mean, there's more to interpret, but like I didn't. Do these things exist in the lore? Well, sure, I guess, but they're supposed to be like inner demons or something. But I don't know. Like it's.
I like the idea
cool
that yeah, obviously the robots or the band had the idea for the music video just as we have it in real life, but instead of just putting people in makeup, we actually just went and got some demons to be in the music video.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think they fit into the Steam Powered Giraffe universe too, because I'm very similar to like Gabby in our visuals that we have, and like horns coming out of the eyes is something I drew all the time as a kid, and like. When I saw that piece of work, I was like, "Do you think we could have them coming out of the eye?" And she already had all the pieces. Hi, pig. If you hear squeaking in the background,
yeah, I heard something. I don't know. I was like, is it a tugboat coming in?
But yeah, for those of you not familiar with the Lantum Alterum video, it features Rabbit dancing alongside some demons who have horns coming out of their eyes, and they have makeup on and costumes, and that's what the question is referring to.
Yeah. But yeah, I think personal demons. If you're trying to like, oh, I want to make a demon Sona in the Steam Powered Giraffe universe. Yeah, I think you can. I think they probably exist in the universe somewhere, even if it is just in the mind.
I've seen a few offshoots of that. People have drawn tieflings of the horns coming out of the eyes based on our music video too. So, but it's hard to say like what the original idea is, because I know Gabby's did it for a project with a friend. I'm sure there's a lot of different. Most people look at it and say, "Oh, they're tieflings."
It's like, yeah, I really like it.
Okay,
and the girls did a great job with their performance.
This one looks like it might be. This is a lore question, and I guess it could be one for Chelsea, but since it's a lore question, I'm going to say it anyways, and we can kind of discuss it. Okay, so Sarah asks, how much coffee and/or caffeine products, like tea or energy drinks, does Walter Robotics and Walter Manor go through? I'm imagining like Olympic-sized swimming pools of coffee per week. Also, I'm imagining it should be a disaster if Walter Manor ran out of coffee and/or other caffeinated products. I assume Peter Walter VI is a caffeine addict in order to keep up with the robots and other going-ons in the Manor. My curiosity is burning about the caffeine situation at Walter Manor and Walter Robotics. Sorry if I'm rambling. Hope you all have a good day.
in my head, I feel like you shouldn't answer this and let this continue on in their brain forever and forever. But maybe,
and everyone has to share it. Now there's plenty of Keurig cups, like a whole warehouse full, but there's only one machine, so it's very slow to get coffee.
That's a lot of waste product with the Keurig.
Sure is.
There's nothing but waste in the Manor.
They had to be like, okay, our employees they want coffee real bad. And so we bought the Keurig machine.
The robots themselves?
Too, because obviously there's a coffee tax, because Walter Robotics is not a very rich company.
So people are bringing their own coffee and stuff.
That's probably, or you can take you can pay the coffee tax.
I know this isn't caffeine, and it's like when you're on a cruise ship and they're like, get the soda, the soda upgrade and get unlimited soda for the whole cruise or something.
There's like a portal that you can go through to go to like Monster Energy Land or something, and there's just
monster trucks driving everywhere in big giant cans and you just like stick a little, what is a maple syrup spout on the side of it?
You milk the monster trucks.
Come here, boy. Come on now, Truckosaurus. Come here.
I'm gonna get me some Gravedigger. I don't know. Anyways, speaking of that, I like the idea that there's a
caffeine, or maybe he's just so high anxiety he stays away from it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he just needs his own energy and adrenaline.
Maybe he's just tired all the time.
Like, I mean, we don't even know what happens to the guy. Like literally, he doesn't have a head. Like a big chunk of his head is just gone.
Like, what if he doesn't sleep, or when he sleeps, it's like, I don't want to get into the lore because if we talk about it here, people are going to run with it. But
yeah,
what if when he's sleeping, something?
If he drinks caffeine, it either has no effect on him or it would just make him way too anxious, and then and then maybe weird stuff comes out of his head. I don't know. Guess you'll have to watch the cartoon if ever that comes out.
I like the idea that Walter Robotics has a cafeteria for all the employees, but it's kind of pricey because it's kind of a way to make profit as well. And so people are bringing their own lunch, and this isn't because we're an evil company. It's just because it's people who work there, obviously it's a passion project, and I don't think anyone's, what I mean? Everyone cuts corners. But the refrigerator for them bringing their own lunch is really small, but the cafeteria is giant, and get this.
But the chef is an old Mexican grandma, and she just makes the best tamales and stuff.
It's really nice.
It's really nice. She puts a lot of love into the.
She deserves to get paid. She deserves to get paid, but she's old. She's worth.
Oh, she's also an ageless monster or something. Obviously, she's probably she's black and white. She looks like an old 1950s housewife, and she's trapped between dimensions or something. Yeah, see, this all writes itself. It's all Next podcast, we'll talk about the Walter Robotics bathroom. Now that's the craziest part of the house.
Is it
employee bathroom? Just somewhere you don't.
It's all these things that maybe that Peter Walter and his generational family has all they've invented things to make work easier, but it actually doesn't make it any easier. It's just a weird looking toilet. Or something that has 3 seashells on it to wipe your butt with or something. You know what I mean? What was it?
It's a Rube Goldberg machine. It's you gotta use it so it travels out and sets off a whole series.
So
of
just
traps.
working at Walter Robotics, you have to learn your job, but you also have to learn to just do the normal things. No, that's not the trash for.
Toilet. There's one normal toilet in the men's bathroom, but you have to it's on the ceiling and you have to walk up the wall. It allows you to. You can do it. It's just
you have to get mountain climbing gear and.
There's a room with no oxygen.
I haven't learned the gravity quite yet, so I just bring my hiking. Walter Robotics actually gives us quite a bit of time to actually get to the bathroom, so it's they don't really mind if you're on your phone and stuff. It's just that they know it's going to take a while to get to the upside down toilet. So. Also, don't look at me because there's no walls around it. So, so we usually go to the bathroom in the dark because if the room is dark, someone's up there pooping.
Or if there's too much uranium glow, you just put on the bathroom blindfold. It's a little hard to navigate, but you feel your way around.
This is. I'm sure a Netflix would have some notes
your hand
on
up and jump up, and your hand will splash into the upside down toilet.
Don't get too excited. Don't celebrate a touchdown or anything when you're in the bathroom. You're just gonna, my hand's wet. No. Toilet water on my hand.
Did we mention gravity's still the same? So it's really hard to actually get things into the toilet.
It's just kind of floating down a little bit.
But they sure do try.
And then you have to seal it and with a big and then you have to hit the vacuum suction.
There is an outhouse outside, but it's haunted.
This is all writes dialogue too. There's an instructional video that has some of this. The jokes write themselves. Anyway, someone write all that down.
As an old prospector, just like a ghost of a prospector. He's just on pooping, and if you want to poop, you have to poop.
With him through. I'm using this toilet here,
and it's a weird outhouse because he's facing you the entire time. It's not just sitting next to him.
And he just whispers in your ear, "This is nice, isn't it?"
Wait! It's an outhouse that's haunted by another outhouse. So it's the outhouse that's haunted has him in it too. So it's like a ghost within a ghost. So that's why they're facing each other. It's like half another outhouse.
All right, staring contest, go.
That's great.
He's like, this one's the mother lode. He's just always making humor with mining.
Eureka!
All right, good question. Only and thoroughly.
Dylan asks, has there ever been a song you made that you thought was going to blow up but didn't, and vice versa? Yeah, every song. No, I don't know.
Every song.
Yeah, so that question, did we ever make a song that we thought was going to do great and didn't?
There's songs that I really like that I wish had gotten, but they just don't for whatever reason. But like, not really. I mean,
I think it's something you learn.
Like Over the Moon. I wish that one had gotten some more attention, but it doesn't have a music video. But I really like that song. I definitely want to redo a re-recording of it though, because it didn't quite come out as I would hoped, and my vocals weren't very strong. But anyways, yeah, I guess there's sometimes you kind of wish that you could, because like if Over the Moon had gotten popular, I would have sung that like all day, and because I like that song so much.
I think it's just that just goes without saying, because like, I mean, we all have like I thought Twinkle Twinkle do so great because Brian's voice is is amazing on it, and I enjoyed the final product so much compared to so much other stuff we've done, but like, it's not up to us.
They didn't get it.
But it's just one of those kind of like, you know, you can put a lot of work into something.
But then there's always the comments where it's like, oh man, thank you for doing like a children's song that I can like, because it's really fun to watch. It's a chill music video. But I guess, but that's kind of like the fun of being Steam Powered Giraffe, is that you get the big hits, but then there's still a load of plethora of little gems, and you know.
I think it's good to divide, like, you know, what is necessarily gets a lot of views and stuff doesn't necessarily mean the other stuff is bad. I mean, because there's plenty of songs that I like that no one, you know, from other bands that are just kind of like obscure ones, you know. Obviously the ones that get popular, you know, they might just have something catchier or just are easier to digest for people. I don't think that's something you can kind of think about. You can't plan, you can't get into people's heads. We were just talking about this earlier, and this isn't a song, but you know, we had a one of our TikTok videos like blew up, and it was one that I was going to delete because I didn't like it compared to some of the other ones we did. It was just like extra, but I was like, I'll save it for you know, as a filler video in between like better ones. And then it has the most views of anything we've ever done. When I watch it, I'm like, this isn't very funny, but sometimes we're not the best judge of that. And sometimes we are, because, you know, some of those ones like I feel constructed. I'm like, yes, I know this one is going to do okay because there was a lot of work put into it, and it felt cut right. But you know, who can say?
You can't tell. But then sometimes you feel like a song's just gonna be good, like Hot on the Trail and stuff. It felt like when I first heard that one, like, oh man. But maybe that's just because it did become popular, and then it
plus
like
you're also putting in the music video and stuff. There's a lot of factors that could change something. You know, we could probably do a music video to an older song and nail it, you know, but and it would just, but once again, that's assuming there's a formula for this kind of stuff, you know. I don't think that we have a video that's necessarily bad, but some stuff showcases something in a specific way that just resonates with people. And even something like Summertime Sadness that's doing pretty good. It's like, it's that mix of, and that's not to say that people don't have negative comments, of course, on popular stuff, but just that, you know, some things just work out in a way for something we couldn't plan.
I think that's why you gotta just be true to yourself, and at the end of the day, just you gotta write music for you. And like, if we could follow some sort of trend and just make like a certain type of something that would like guarantee that it would be a hit, you know, wouldn't that be easy? Wouldn't that be great? But it's just not like that. Just, you can't tell. You can speculate, and, but you could. I could write a number of ballads compared to Honeybee. They'll never meet up to Honeybee. Like, you know.
I mean, we already have it. Not that we've been following Honeybee, but we have other ballads in different ways.
Oh yeah, we write a lot of ballads.
Some of them do get popular, but nothing like Honeybee. And I mean, but we don't. We just don't put the value of that to there, because like we like Honeybee and stuff, but like we're proud of other stuff. Like I like plenty of our songs more than Honeybee. Like if we had to choose which ones are popular, I don't think. But that's any artist, you know, like. Yeah,
I mean, you look at you know, every major artist, you know, Elton John, Van Morrison, all these people who have their big hits, but have a huge catalog of music that no one's ever heard of. You know, like half the population has never heard of these amazing songs that were written. You know, it's just kind of luck of the draw and how the music industry works. Unless you're a big fan of that artist, you're not going to get it. So
because there's some stuff can have legs on its own, but we can't pretend that there's stuff that has legs that doesn't have legs, and it's just because it was pushed by the music industry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So but we're just grateful that we were able to do that, and we can't. It's not like we've ever reached Honeybee's levels again, but we've reached close to Honeybee levels with other songs, and that we're just grateful that we have that kind of stuff.
Well, also, you can see. Well, you can also see like the growth. Like some videos now have more than Honeybee had when we thought it was like, oh, they're popular. So there is definitely a lot of growth too.
And like Honeybee has a lot of views, but it's over time. Whereas some of our newer videos get more views like really fast, which it means more people have been following us. And Honeybee obviously it was just one of those weird things where it didn't do super great when it first came out. It was just like pretty average, low number video for us.
I think at the time too, it was just kind of interesting to look at too. I mean, it didn't get super mega popular. I mean, it got really popular for us, but I think it was just the right time of the internet, right time of
someone reblogged it, and then that still happens. So you can see that with even Diamonds and stuff, because when we post some of this stuff to TikTok, and some of those videos still have legs and different cuts. But on TikTok, there's an algorithm too. So sometimes you're just going to get lucky, and you're going to post it at the right time, and it's just going to be seen by a bunch of people. And we kind of judge that with views. And actually, I don't want to talk too much about that because there's a question that kind of asks us about that.
What's going to the question?
It's actually a few downs, but we'll come back to
let's
yeah.
Let's do another question.
Did you have anything else to add on to there, Brian? I know Bunny and I were...
No.
Okay, just talking about our experience with Honeybee. Catherine asks, this is for all of us, how has not performing to a live audience and or performing with each other in person changed your approach in composing and performing in general? Have you learned new things? How is it harder and or easier than pre-COVID times? It's almost hard for me to remember pre-COVID times and still very frustrated with the now normal of little live music. So, yeah.
It's not great, but we're managing. There's just that connection, I think. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do, and like when writing songs and stuff that doesn't change, but like being able to sit around and jam and that sucks. And then obviously like not being able to rehearse in person sucks.
But I mean, so we've definitely learned some stuff. Like being able to record remotely is not really something we thought we had to do because there was no reason to do it. Like, we all live relatively close, so it's possible to just have that in the same room, and the benefit is someone doesn't have to set up something, right?
It's nice to know that we have that option, though. Like, you never know when it could just be more convenient at some point. So it's nice that we have that.
And like, there is some recording technical wise, there is a little bit like I feel like I'm able to pick out errors in the recording process, not necessarily with voices, easier when it's in person, because on the remote stuff, I'm hearing things different. You know what I mean? Like you're hearing it here live, where when it comes through the remote recording, you have to you almost have to mute everything just to kind of hear some of that stuff. And so I find myself missing I didn't notice that this background sound was in there because there's other stuff going on. And so I think it's just being a little bit more thorough than you had before. It's just, but once again, it's better than nothing. And the end product, no one can tell the difference. Even the stuff that we were singing lead back and forth with each other, I did a little bit of EQ to try and make our microphones sound the same. And we do have the similar microphones now, but we were trying to do it on the cheap because, we weren't trying to spend a bunch of money to finish the album. So we didn't try to get matching microphones completely, finishing 1896. So I think, it's little things you learn, but, for us personally, right? It's the rehearsals, everything. I don't think we did remotely figure out Twinkle Twinkle and Fart Patrol and even the name song. We did all that remotely and it worked out. It's just slightly harder because we can't do stuff together and we can't sing it together. So it's pretty much what about this? And I'll play on piano or guitar. And then, so it's possible to do all that, but let's not pretend that there's more chemistry when you're in the room together.
This is.
So I think we've definitely gained some stuff for it, but of course we've lost more than we've gained, I would just say. The skills of being able to set up stuff, it's more consistent now. we kind of know the little hiccups and stuff that we can record together. We're just grateful that we can do it, right?
For sure.
And yeah, we don't have a live audience. That's another thing that they asked. I mean, that's Brian has been performing, not Steam Powered Draft, but like, you know, music and theater stuff as well. Mm-hmm. So, well, you have a slightly different experience than Bunny and I do, because I haven't been in front of anyone for more than a year now. Yeah. Same with Bunny, I'm imagining.
Yeah. I mean, and that's like with even with the stuff I'm doing, I'm still like, it still hits me in a way that like we can't go ahead and go forward and do things. Mm-hmm. So you know.
It definitely has been the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like a piece of you is gone.
Yeah.
And it's just nothing is gonna fill that void, and it's like accepting that is really hard. But I mean, I don't want to look at it like an ending, but it's just so you don't have it. How much it meant to you.
Yeah,
because
to go and I love performing live. I love it.
It's one of those. It's hard to, I guess, explain, but like when you say we release something online, you know, people love it and stuff. That feels good. It feels good, you know. But for us as performers personally, like a live audience means that it's kind of that. It's not instant gratification, but it's a gratification that you can't get online. And I'm not saying that people typing to us, sending us nice emails doesn't mean anything to us, but you know, even if we weren't shaking hands and people telling us their stories and all that, like just seeing people in an audience come to your show just mentally does something different to you.
How their heart reacts like a creature, you know, it's like this entity that you're performing for, and it's like it feels good. You vibe off the energy, and sometimes things are just like clicking, and you can just get like the audience in an uproar. It's great. It's very satisfying, and also knowing that, you know, at least 100 or so people, sometimes more, are getting to kind of just have a little diversion for the evening and have some fun, which is great.
I miss that rehearsal process too, you know, of like coming up with bits. It's just like sometimes the hardest I laugh like all year coming up with, you know, a couple different bits for the show, and then like taking those bits and putting them out there and seeing how they evolve with the audience and how different they are in comparison to like how we first started them. That kind of stuff's really fun for me.
We got a little bit of it with you know, the live show stuff that we recorded, but like the bits in between the songs for that online show.
Oh yeah.
But it's still, it's like, it's a very small thing because it goes off, and however we did those takes, and we did like 3 of each, like it's whatever I thought was the funniest take, or, you know, and it ends there, you know, you're putting it down. So even when we've recorded live shows in the past, it's like, well, it is what it is. You can't capture that moment, not even if you did have a camera. Like it's different when you're in the room and you're feeling the vibe. But with this, it you know, nothing will compare, but we have gotten a taste of it. I think we've done the gamut of what we can do as a band, and we can totally survive on it. It's just, obviously there's something missing because we're performers.
Yeah.
We're not just sitting and we can, you know, do music videos stuff. I feel it. I can do it. It's way different when you're on stage and doing it.
Yeah.
So obviously I guess the follow-up.
Even if without the show, if there wasn't a pandemic and we were starting to see each other, I think that would help a little bit, just in terms of getting that. I don't know. I don't know if it's super helpful, but it feels nice. It feels nice. Camaraderie, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But we have a lot of that too, just online. But yeah.
It's not the same though.
It's hard. It's harder to keep it up because it just is. I mean, you can get used to staring at a camera because, you know, people do it with live streams all the time too, and we have in the past. But like so much of our stuff is in person, and we've obviously adjusted to it with the pandemic. But and so have so many other people. We're not the only ones. But yeah, as far as like shows and stuff goes, I'm sure people are wondering when we're gonna go back. And I know patrons, you know, I always put that at the end of our monthly update posts that $1 patrons stuff can read as well. But it's always like, nope, don't have any plans. Like, but when we feel ready for it, and just because we don't talk about it too much publicly, it's a whole band idea, but it's not necessarily. There are definitely bands out there that are doing stuff, but you know, the way I see it is, It would just be so terrible if we were the small percentage of people that had an event that had a spread of any sort, and statistically we probably wouldn't, because small audience and stuff like that. But there's all the other factors too of how comfortable we would feel on stage. And I know me personally, and not that I would dictate it. If everyone else was like, "We're doing this," you're the only one lagging behind, David. Like, of course, I probably would be convinced and be like, "Yeah, it's just." But being on stage without a mask and in an audience with everyone masked and vaccinated, it still doesn't sound fun to me. Like,
it's also a huge risk, because if anyone tests positive, even false positives, the whole show's canceled. So it's like it's
and
like,
that's a lot of money that can go into this stuff.
And that's the biggest thing. Even with the stuff that I've been doing, is like, well, it only needs one thing to pull out, and then everyone's just kind of screwed.
And it's a little easier because Steam Powered Giraffe is our thing and it's our money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But it's one of those, like,
and we've been touring pretty consistently. So I mean, it's an unfortunate break, but hopefully, we will get back to it, and then it'll feel great to see us again, right? I mean, we'll have a new show. Like it's an opportunity to kind of let it sit and come at it from a fresh perspective too.
But we were with the vaccine and stuff, we were on the track to getting back to live shows and stuff. But now that we know that it's basically waves, I mean, no one can say that they know for sure. But playing it safe, especially since we don't want to, because our money comes from Patreon, it comes from ticket sales, stuff like that. We don't want to waste people's money or lose money because we were going to refund a bunch of people. And we've already did that with the start of COVID, like most bands and stuff. And, it's not a record company. No one's gambling on us. It's just us gambling on it. So that, for me, that's a little more scary, because even if we have a supportive people and people who are comfortable coming and see the show, like, well, we have to be comfortable with it. And it's one of those, like, I know we could get away with it, but then it's like, well, then do we do another show? Or is it just rehearsing for one giant show and then some event happens? You're like, okay, we have to be safe again. Like, I don't know when the right time to do it is, but obviously we all miss performing.
In the meantime, we're creating music and little bits and sketches, just stuff that you've been seeing on TikTok and YouTube, and hopefully we'll just keep churning stuff out, and you won't have a deficit of Steam Powered Giraffe content, at least.
Yeah, and I mean, none of us in the band are like, I don't really want to live perform anymore. And that hasn't been the case in the past with other members, where the other members have voiced, like, I'd be perfectly fine not doing live shows, because live shows can be a lot of work for some people. But and that's fine, because there's plenty of bands out there who don't do live shows; they just create content, like a YouTube creator or something. But that's not us. I don't think that's us. Like, we can do that. We can do that because it's a way to make a name for yourself.
Like the creation process. I mean, if you're not in love with the creation process, are you really an artist? I mean, it's like there's so much joy from just the art of creating. So I mean, that's never gonna stop.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for letting us deviate a little bit to talk about that, because we don't think we've talked about it too much other than we still don't know, but at least there's a reminder of our perspective on it all, that yes, we want to get back. Okay, sorry, I know we only have a few more questions. Magpie asks, I think this is for me, yes, for David. I'm so tickled with the increased presence on TikTok, and I've seen a ton of positive comments. Have you seen a bump up in YouTube views, sales, and Patreon subscriptions? So for those of you uninformed, the band, sometime, I think before September, we recreated a new TikTok account. We had an old one, but it was tied to Instagram, and we lost it because they took off Instagram integration, and we stupidly didn't log in when they did that. So we lost that account, and we just created a new one. Of course, the old one didn't have anything on it. But, and then I just told the rest of the band, like, hey, I'm going to get in makeup once a month just to try and create little content, maybe, because it wasn't just TikTok, it was Instagram stories and not stories, reels, and YouTube has their own thing called shorts. Like, it's all TikTok related, and I'm like, we should just probably try that. So I started with just videos of our old stuff, but then I recorded a few of myself. So yes, some of the TikTok videos have more views than some of our YouTube videos. So it's almost like two completely different worlds. Even though we'll post both things to YouTube and stuff, I won't post the re-edited music videos that are in portrait mode to YouTube. It's just because what's the point? But I will post them sometimes to Instagram Reels or definitely on TikTok. And I wouldn't say we've seen an uptick in Patreon subscriptions or necessarily sales, but we have seen an uptick in comments and views. And I mean, fans are the ones that are going to give us money. Everyone else, I don't know how else to say it, but like Chelsea and I definitely monitor all the comments and stuff, and that's how we kind of get a gauge on what's going on. And her and I were both noticed that you notice the comments that say, I found you guys on TikTok from that video, subscribed, I love all this stuff, I can't believe I'm just finding now. Those kind of comments are like happening all the time within the last few months. And it's hard to ride that wave because you're like, I don't know what the next good thing we're going to put out is, because we'll put out a TikTok video and we'll get nothing, even though on YouTube it was like a video that got a bunch. So one thing, you can't figure out TikTok algorithm, so we just try not to, and we just put out content, right? So I think we have noticed an increase, and it's one of those like, wow, what if I just didn't think about putting this? Because it wasn't one of those band discussions where we're like, we should really get a TikTok and do it. I was like, maybe we should post something to TikTok. It was just, and it's nice that sometimes those little spur of the moment things turn into like, well, now we have to post to TikTok for the rest of our lives.
It's okay. TikTok's working. It's fine. I'm looking forward to being able to do some because it looks like a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying the gamut of stuff. Like, okay, here's a lip sync one. Here's like one that's to a song, the Roomba one, like, and then here's a cover of Spine just singing. And then why did this cover work better than that one? Sometimes it's like, well, I think this one's better, but people like this one better. And it could have been because of how you shot it, or it could just be because the algorithm threw that in front of people. Because the other TikTok comment I see all the time is like, oh my God, I didn't know you were on TikTok. Thank you so much for coming into my feed. Or there's a name for feeds that we see in comments all the time. This came up on my recommended, I don't know. But then we also see comments on YouTube. And there was probably a few sales that people in the comments of their order will say, I found you guys on TikTok, so it feels like a second Honeybee kind of vehicle in a way, where people are like, I saw your YouTube video of Honeybee and that made me a fan and wanted to support you guys. But now we are definitely seeing a lot more comments saying it about just TikTok in general. So yeah, I think everything helps. Yeah. And it's always scary.
Kind of had help because we just did that cover and everything, and it's just like good time. It's a good time for it because like the content we have in the wings, So that's great. I'm excited.
What I like about it is it's not in a time frame. Like before it felt like ride the wave of your album release, get this stuff out. But now in the internet, it's like go ahead and release that old music video, like. Yeah, or something you hadn't worked on in a while, because no one cares. Like, if something goes viral, it doesn't matter how old it is. So
yeah, it's new to somebody. It's always going to be.
And that's what we can see.
Kind of going to be the internet forever. I think.
Like even the Diamonds video, like we posted that on TikTok. It's in portrait mode, a little edited, and it's not the whole video. They only limit you to 3 minutes, but you try to pick the best 3 minutes, and then hopefully people go to YouTube. But it's getting the same reactions on YouTube, which is nice. Same with Honeybee, and I repost the videos, and it's hard to figure it out, but basically just keeping it going. And yes, so it's definitely helped us. And I can't wait to see more stuff. We'll definitely be in makeup filming stuff in the future. I think everyone wants to contribute.
It's cool.
But yeah, as far as an increase in money, no. TikTok, we're part of the TikTok Creators Fund, and even with all of our hundreds of thousands of views there, it's probably $2 after like 5 months or 4 months. And realistically, we get more money on Instagram for the same content for less views. But I think that's just because Instagram's trying to pay out more, like Facebook and all that stuff. It's because they're trying to compete with TikTok, and TikTok gives nothing. Instagram gives a bunch, and YouTube gives, it's okay. So, yep. So I try to post on Instagram too, but even that's like up in the air. Because I don't know anyone. I don't really use any of these social platforms to watch videos. I just wait for people to send me funny things.
But TikTok is like, I mean, all the kids are on TikTok. Like it's just like all the kids here, like it's always TikTok and reaction videos and stuff. And it's like, you can see it's kind of this quick kind of popcorn that you're eating.
Keep that in mind. That's a good robot video.
Like,
rabbit reacting to something. He's like, what? What?
Oh, I can't believe it.
And then you like turn the iPad around and it's like, I don't know.
An old man sitting in a chair.
It could be anything, really.
It's great. Yeah, I like doing little memes. Well, it reminds me of like it's basically the it's what Vine was, but kind of.
Yeah.
10,000% is fine.
That's what I miss is like what I'm wondering because it feels like an ancient history, but when we were at conventions, and maybe this was even before when Brian was in the band, people would come up to us and quote my Vines or something that was on like, YouTube, and we would just, they'd come up and rehearse it and say it, and it would be like, pretty cute or whatever, because like, oh wow, they and now I'm wondering like, what would people do now? Like, was it going to be, you know what I mean? Because we don't have that fan interaction.
You got to come up with a dance, and then people will do the dance back at you.
It's time to robot dab. We'll make a new dab. We'll bring back the dab. It hasn't really been anywhere, but we can bring it.
I mean, Zero was a part of that when people would ask us to do like whatever the hot new thing was, and dabs for a while. It was like, can we do a dab in this selfie? And I'm like, yeah, whatever you want.
Sure, it's the easiest dance move possible that ever existed. So yeah, of course we can.
It's more of a pose.
It's like that was my favorite question. Like going into schools, like, can you dab? I was like, do I have two arms? Yeah, sure can dab. Like,
and then the whole auditorium full of students would be like.
Before that, it was working. I literally we went to that YouTube convention, and I heard the guy's fans, like, to some of the big YouTubers saying, like, in the elevators and stuff, would say like, I was like, oh, I saw you twerking on the thing. Look, check out my twerk. I'm like, that's
no.
And that was like 7 years ago.
That was when I was kind of grasping. Wait, so these people on YouTube, they don't have like a profession or anything they're doing. They create random content. Like, it was so hard back then to realize, like, every time I would ask, like, oh, cool, I'd never heard of that YouTuber. What do they do? And they're like, they make YouTube content, and I'm like,
well, because it's all the stuff. All the people I follow is all like, okay, here's people that dissect televisions. Here's people that it's always like, I need to figure out
do it yourself stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like, oh, this is why. Yeah,
it's the personality. It's like they just enjoy the artist, whatever they do. So like, I'm starting to.
And here we are, busting our butts, making music.
It's a product of reality television. You know what I'm saying? It moved from watching people in dramatic situations to people living out dramatic situations, and now it's just people's everyday today situations. So they feel happy, they feel sad for them, and it's a Truman Show. We watched on the Truman Show.
Another idea for robot thing, robot mukbang video, where it's, if you don't know what that is, it's just eating. People really want the company of eating, and they're like,
I have an idea in my head, but it might be good enough that I'm going to hold off on it. But you just I'm just going to say, that would be a waste of food.
Yeah.
Just have a big old thing, and you're like, okay, time to eat the. Oh wait, I can't eat, and you just
dump it in the trash can. Yeah. You're like, so how was your day? Because I think that's what those mukbang videos are. They're like it's not necessarily people gorging themselves, which I guess is another thing, but it's watching a video of a creator that you like while you eat, so you have company, and that's a hard. It's not always a weird sick fetish or something. It's
also like ASMR too with the chewing. It's like thing and stuff. I get it.
Yeah, they want the company because I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me because obviously I have roommates, and I'm like, well, if I want to be annoyed by someone chewing, I can do that in a second. Like, let's eat cereal together, like that kind of thing. So but with the robots, there would have to be a joke, and it probably whatever. It would be like, oh wait, I forgot I can't
eat. Just like coming out your mouth, something's just spilling out.
Just cut to an explosion.
Like we just eat like Cookie Monster. No food ever goes in, but like he's very enthusiastic.
But no, people do complain about that mukbang's also like a waste of food or something. But so our joke would be a waste of food. So I guess we could win.
I don't think that would fly well.
Just make it a very small joke, like a piece of bread. Then people would be like, it's one piece of bread for a joke.
I mean, look, they've been stapling bread to trees since the dawn of time, so we'll be fine.
Okay, here's one for Bunny. We're almost done with the question. Sorry, I know this Bennettarium's going a little long, but if we're going, if we're talking, we're talking. Okay, for Bunny, what inspires your different makeup looks for Rabbit? Is it just how you're feeling that day, or do you plan out the look beforehand?
I think it's just kind of a little bit of OCD with trying to perfect and constantly perfect, and it just never. Nothing is ever going to like stick. But then it's starting to I see like I'm really into the whole Rabbit having like sort of patina mask look, like that's been getting really good. But no, I think it's just trying to like find her identity. And for a time I wanted to get away from the copper look because I wanted Rabbit to have a porcelain face, but we ended up like bringing back more of the copper, and I think I really like the look right now. Like I don't have any plans to change it just because I think it looks pretty iconic, but I guess I don't know. Yeah, just how I'm feeling, but I want to have consistency, or try to. But yeah, sometimes I just I don't make a habit to do it like exact every time.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes I will just try out something here and there.
I think some of the pictures and videos and stuff, like it might look like there's been obviously out of everyone, I think Bunny definitely changes the makeup the most, but like show to show, it doesn't change that much. Like it's pretty much just trying out different looks, and the time in between is a lot. It just, when you look at it on a YouTube video or photos and stuff, it's like, oh, it changes every time. Like, well, that's just because that's when the photos were taken. It was like, and they're
and like there's in live shows definitely like sometimes the makeup is just, it's just not as good as a live show because it's an event that is not well lit, and then I know I could just do like the bare, not that I don't try, just that sometimes the looks I just go for a simpler look. If I feel like if I overcomplicate my face, no one's gonna be able to see anything. But if I don't know if there's any. Honestly, I guess there is no rhyme or reason. It's just kind of my creative chaos.
This question is from Lars for David. With the last music video coming out, Summertime Sadness, were you expecting the sudden influx of people drawing the spine in red dresses? No. I mean, I assumed it was a thing, but just because I have the platform to say it, I was introduced to the song Summertime Sadness from a cameo video that someone requested. And normally I don't learn a new song for a cameo video. I'll just message the person and say, hey, this is a little too much for me to learn. I have like 5 other videos this month. Can we pick something that might be more familiar with? But this one, I listened to the song. I always listen to it first to see, like, is the melody easy enough to just pick up on, and I can kind of trudge through it. And this one, I actually was like, oh, this actually is a pretty good song. So I wanted to learn it. And so I learned a little part of it. And it was like, it was someone who got it for their friend. So I did the thing. I sang it how you would imagine. I think it was in the key, though. So it's not quite like what our music video is. And then they sent back, and they're pretty good artists. They sent back a drawing of the spine singing, I got my red dress on tonight, like with a little speech bubble, and it was a pretty good drawing. Yeah. I shared that on our Patreon on the first post that we posted, the official music video, but that's where its origin was. And then I started singing it during some of my live streams back in the day. I guess only a few live streams because I only did a few during the pandemic. So yeah, then when we were picking covers and just seeing what we were going to do in the future, like that one came up, and I was just like, yeah, if I keep coming back to it, I'm like, yes, it just makes sense. Like sometimes I can't say we do too many covers, but I'll have one idea in my head, but I'm always confused on how to do it. And this one, I was like, I had a few different ways to do it. So it made sense to me. Like, well, if I already have several ideas, like one of them might work. But as far as red dress, I think I pretty much, when the video comes out, I stay away from all the comments and stuff. I don't want to. I mean, it's nice to see the influx of stuff, but like after a certain point, it's like, well, I don't really need to see the negative comments. I'll let Chelsea sift through that stuff. But like, so I can't say that I've seen any drawings or fan art of Spine in a red dress or anything like that. But also, it's like people. There's been a few comments or people asking like, oh, it's fine that he's singing red dress. I'm like, well, it's just a song. Like there's no statement with it other than like, well, I myself and Spine would be comfortable in his masculinity to be like,
no, everyone needs a statement. You make a statement now. You do it.
I mean, it's a song that's a cover, so like if you're not familiar with the song, sure, maybe it's like, why would they pick this lyrics? I'm like, well, I didn't. This is just what the song lyrics are.
The song is.
And I didn't feel, and there's no reason to change it for me because I don't know. We don't need more masculinity. I don't know. Didn't think about it that much.
It doesn't make any sense. It's not. It's like.
I got my red shirt on tonight. Like,
yeah.
It changes.
I got my suit and my tie. It's like, what are you gonna change it to? Plus, like, yeah, if the meaning is, it's better just to that masculinity is not fragile and it doesn't need this lyric to change.
Yeah, and plus it's like it changes the tone of the song and okay. Granted, on our Diamonds thing, I changed Moonshine and Molly to Moonshine's on Me. Because I didn't want to talk. I didn't want the robots talking about drugs.
Yeah, a little different.
I'll never be able to do a cover of that one song. God, what's it called? Miley Cyrus song. We like to party, dancing with Miley. And it's all about doing drugs. And it's like, it would be straight because then I could be like dancing with Bunny. But then it's like doing like cocaine in the bathroom and shooting up and stuff. And it's like, yeah, what are you going to change it to? Then it's just like a completely different song.
A good. I think for some covers, I think it was I Don't Care cover. I think I looked at, or I don't remember, but I looked at the kids' version of those songs, and they do have different lyrics. So.
I spilled my juice onto the carpet. Mom was feeling mad.
I don't know. Did you shift through Kids Bop? That was going on?
I can't remember what song it was, but I definitely took some lyrics from that one.
Journey to Kids Bop?
Because technically,
2021?
Yeah, you're not supposed to change the lyrics when you're doing a cover song because that's the composer, you know? But if you pick lyrics that the composer wrote with a second version of the song, an alternate version, then you're safe. So, in fact, I don't even think the Moonshine on Me was my idea. You know, I found the safe lyric version, which is not a swear word. It's just, some markets. Anyways, so for the question, I guess I have to go look for Spine Red Dresses. The art prompt for this month is not Summertime Sadness. It's the art prompt for this month for patrons and other people online. If you're following our social media on Instagram or Twitter, is the winter holidays or no holidays. So pretty broad. If you want to put Spine in a red dress, go ahead.
Totally have Spine in a red dress. Let's all wear red dresses.
Retweet that. But yeah, it's weird to me because like when I think of Diamonds and the Summertime Sadness stuff, or anytime when it's like Spine singing a normal a song that's normally sung by a woman, like the joke isn't that he's a guy. The joke is that like I guess that his voice is deep and that I guess it is that, but that's not how I'm playing it. So if it is funny, fine, whatever. And then if that gets a view, sure. But there is an integrity to it that's like I'm putting emotion into it. I'm singing each lyric as if it means it. So that's all. It never sounds like
you're doing a parody. You're trying to do it for your laughs.
And it's one of those, in hindsight, I'm like, well, I never even had it was never in my mind that I was going to sing it any other way. Like, I never...
Honestly, I think the confidence stuff, every time I look at Diamonds or the new song, it's just like, it makes me happy because you're singing it with confidence and it's happy. Maybe that would make me go, oh, but not in a way of like, oh, wow, I'm wearing a red dress.
Wow, how embarrassing. It's not, I don't think that's the vibe at all from those things because I'm not projecting that into the performance or anything.
No, I think that's why people like it because you're treating it like it's not a joke.
Yeah, and plus it's one of those, I mean, when you look at Steam Powered Draft, it's like we're progressive anyways. But like, the one time that I had to like cross dress for like a show or something, it was an example because Brian was also part of it. One of our fellow classmates in one of our musical theater classes in college was like, wanted us to do the hairspray moms or whatever because they're normally played by men in the cast of Hairspray, or at least one of them is the one that John.
Well, it's famously Divine, like the OG drag queen. She plays the mother,
which is different when they cast John Travolta in it and stuff. So, anyways,
that was kind of weird.
But when you're in college and you need people like, okay, yeah, and it was funny. I was like, okay, I guess it's funny, but it's, I guess. But
I think I saw that once. It's like it didn't really add anything to anything.
No, it's just I think it's just because they're going off of whatever at the time, and that was like this was more than 10 years ago, obviously. So not something I'm like, oh yeah, but even then it's like it feels weird that it's a joke because it's like it's different when it's a drag queen, I would say, because it's not really
totally.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different because it's their persona. It's what they've been. Like I can't remember who's doing it right now, but there's a tour, and there's a famous drag queen from who won RuPaul's Drag Race. She took over the role for the mother. So yeah, pretty common.
I haven't seen much of it, but the thing with there's a show called Baskets, and I think Louis Anderson plays
Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, and he plays an old woman, but it's not played for. And what I've seen of it, it's not played that. Oh, this is funny because here's this giant guy who's playing an old woman. Like it's actually has heart and stuff to it. So, and I don't think Hairspray is that way either with John Travolta. It's just kind of one of those like, oh look, John Travolta.
Bob's Burgers, where you kind of forget that like two of the main characters are men playing women. It's like it's never treated as a joke. Yeah. That's never. No. I don't even hear men talking anymore at this point. Watching the show,
and it's also never the joke. It's not written that way. It's not written to be.
Just that. It's more about the chemistry that these actors have with each other.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, can't wait to see Spine in red dresses. If they're already,
draw a Spine in red dress.
I can't say that I go searching for the stuff because I have enough other stuff. So eventually it'll find its way to me either with the Penyacs or someone sending it to me. But I can't. I try not to live in let's look at what people are doing with Steam Powered Draft. Enough of that comes our way organically that I can't overload myself looking for the stuff. So I hope people understand if they're wondering why hasn't David commented on something. Like I'll comment or I'll like the retweets that we do for Fan Art Friday and stuff just because I want people to know that. Oh yeah, no, the band saw these. Okay, we got 3 more questions. Yep. Bennettarium's answering questions. This is not bad. We're getting nice.
I love answering questions. It's easy and it gets some interesting talks going.
Also, we're getting some. We got some questions from people who we haven't heard from before, and these are some pretty good questions too. Not that people we've heard from before have bad questions. I just mean like we're getting a nice range of questions today too. Yeah. Alicia asks, this is for all of us. What is the best Christmas gift you've ever got? Oh yeah, there's a holiday episode, by the way. Episode 69. Teehee. Forgot to say. Oh yeah, it's just in December.
I got mine. I think it was. Yeah, it was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. My parents got me this like antique. I think it's like it would have like a little perfume in it, but it was like from the 30s, and it was vintage, and it had never been worn. And yeah, no, I thought that was like really cool. That was like the only good gift they've ever given me. Like that had some heart to it or was interesting. And I was like, not that, but it doesn't really matter. Just gifts are gifts. But I thought that was pretty neat. It's broken. It's gone now. The chain just busted. Obviously, it's super old.
Brian?
Ghostbuster Nerf gun backpack.
Oh, I think we got those too.
Okay, I'm going to change mine.
Nope, too late.
We're talking about our childhood.
There's like a mutant lab where you could like make your own Stretch Armstrong dudes.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I wanted that so.
That was my favorite.
Well, guess what? We had it, and it was amazing, Brian.
No. Okay, you can make these, and you can have this one, and.
Funny, your video. Whatever, no one can see your video other than the.
What's your best gifts?
That's a tough one. Yeah, if we're talking about childhood stuff, like it's going to be every video game console because it's always one of those. Can we get a PlayStation this year? No. What about this year now? Like no. And then sometimes they'd surprise you, like, come on, you could have just been like, yes, this is the year, but then they have to pretend like we can't afford it, which we probably couldn't. But and then they would somehow come through with the PlayStation 2, and you're like, wow, now I got to catch up and play all the games. But so other than that kind of stuff, I think we lost Bunny. Right?
Is it frozen or is it just?
It's frozen for me, I think. See, it's like in the middle of a. Okay. Well, whatever. It's just a video. We'll see if it comes back. And the audio too. More recently, I think the best gifts are the heartfelt ones, because as an adult who enjoys video games and electronics and stuff and has the means to purchase those, saving sometimes, I can't go and buy PlayStation 5 all the time, but also, or even have the option to buy one easily because they're not available. But I do have a PS5, but I'm just saying.
So what does it matter?
I'm saying most of the gifts I'm hard to buy for because I buy so much of it myself.
Yeah.
Because
my phone's dying.
Okay.
My phone's dying. I can't get it charged. I forgot to charge it.
Okay. I guess. Okay.
Goodbye.
I like heartfelt Christmas presents. We'll try to get these last two questions out before Bunny's phone dies again. But heartfelt stuff. I've gotten some art, sketches with me and my partner and stuff, and those are always nice because it's who else can give you that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can buy myself a video game. Not that those are bad gifts or something. I can buy myself a little thing. It's always nice to get a surprise of oh, I would never buy this for myself. But it's always the thought that counts, especially if you're someone who's going to go and buy yourself the video game console. That's priority number one. I don't care if I'm starving. I'm getting that video game console. But that's a lot of people, right? Who doesn't want to put investment into their enjoyment, right?
No, that's life.
I mean, we all work. Everyone works hard in whatever they're doing.
No.
You want to have your rest and relaxation. It's worth something to some people, right? If it's not a video game console, it's your whatever other hobby or activity you have. Okay, so Nerf Ghostbusters. I really like the Lost World Jurassic Park trailer RV thing.
What, you have the trailer RV thing too?
Yeah, we
No!
Yeah, we're the right age for that. Okay, last two questions. Bird Jesus, do you listen to your own music for leisure?
No.
No, I don't want to hear my voice. I mean, I do want to hear Bunny and Brian's voice more than my own, but even then. No, I think we lost Bunny for real this time. I think her phone died. But that's okay. She was on the podcast.
Yeah, once it's recorded, I never listen to it again. That's not true. Every once in a while, I'll do an older album, just to kind of see, especially if we're about to record something, then I'll go listen to it, just to kind of get my bearings and say, hey, I want to do this better. I want to do that better, but not for fun.
Yeah, and for fun, it's I just, I have to listen to it. Well, for me, in the position of Steam Powered Giraffe, I have to listen to the song so many times, it's not a song anymore. So, but I will go back and listen, if I listen to Vice Quadrant, probably listen to it, I don't know, a few songs, maybe a year ago or something. It's almost like you forgot the stuff, and then stuff kind of comes back from the recording process, and you're so it's being able to listen to something, without any bias is super hard when you've listened to the song 100 different, or I would say thousands of different ways as you're recording it and mixing it and stuff, because you're hearing small parts and so when I'm mixing stuff or listening to stuff, it's totally going back over different parts and okay, I got to get that out of my head. Time to not spend a few days with it and then come back, because your brain is just making these connections. I know this melody, I know where this goes, and you don't really trust your ears after a while. So after all that, I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it.
You have to. Then you have to edit the music video and you have to hear the song there. So, it's knowing that you have a limit and you hope you don't reach it before the project's finished.
Yeah.
It's a little easier when it's not your song. I think.
Oh, 10,000% it is. But even that, if you're mixing a song that's not your song, you still don't want to hear that song.
I will say, my least favorite thing is editing live stuff. And it's not that we have to. There's definitely been live stuff where we don't edit it, and it's literally, this is what it was. It's the fastest way to get the video out. This is what it sounded like. You're going to hear all the breaths and pops and clicks, and it's not going to be amazing. But when we do actually edit a live thing down, my least favorite thing is editing out breaths and stuff, because obviously you want some breaths that make it sound natural for the lead singer and stuff. But when you're in a live show, it's
It happens all the time.
It's and the worst part, it's because it's the anxiety. You're hearing someone. It's like, even if it's myself or Bunny or Brian, you're hearing them, all the time. And that doesn't really come through on a stage. This is like the raw input on the microphone, and you want all that because you want to be able to hear everything that came through. But you kind of have that. It's kind of like sympathy anxiety for. Or it's like, man, they're because they're up on stage doing the robot and breathing heavy, and it's hard not for me to want to breathe heavy at the same time, because I don't know, you're editing it, you're fine, I don't know, it's such a weird, I don't like it. It's not fun to have to edit that for one song. Sure, when we did the live show stuff with the remote recording online show, the COVID thing, that was like 3 songs, so it was like my limit. I was like, okay, if I had to do like a whole show, it's a lot. It's a lot to be the performer and edit it. And like, I would just give it to someone to be like, cut all this stuff out. I can't do it.
Please, for the love of
I don't know
God.
what that is. I can do it. It's just, I had to take breaks. It took me months to edit some of those old live shows that we did, because it was just, it's hard. Yeah. I think the hardest one to edit was the Eternal Harp of Golden Dreams, all the songs we shot for that. Not just because we shot it, we only had a limited camera, so we had to shoot the song performance 3 times just to get different angles, and then pick the best takes of that. And knowing that but it was just so much editing, because we tried to do our whole set, and it took me months, and it all ended up being good. Some of those videos became popular, some of them didn't, and everyone has got their limit. Don't want to hear the songs anymore. That's why. It's not because we hate our own voices.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to my own music. I don't even make music.
I'm not Kanye.
I listen
to my own music.
I mean, maybe there's someone could dissect it and say, oh, you listen to this artist because you like this, and yours is kind of like that too. And I'm like, nah, not really. I like hearing things that I can't do. Like most of the time when I think of the music, like, might be inspired. Anyways, last question, and then we'll cut it off, since Bunny's phone died and she forgot to plug it in and stuff. Radmato, I think that's how I say it. Radmato, 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 or Radmato. Sure. Anyways, what's your favorite word or phrase to sing?
Fontiferous.
You've never sang that in a song?
I have two times. What? The Fontiferous bunch.
Okay.
Fontiferous bunch. They're the best bunch in the land.
I would say that would be mine, but I've definitely never done it. I've never had to sing it, so I can't say that. But
Fontiferous?
I would say it's kind of a cop-out, but it's like fire. Anything that I can do with fire, I don't know, the word. It's a short word, so it's not too long, a syllable, so you can fit it in anywhere, and it can mean so much. That's stupid, any word can do that, but I don't know.
It's a lyric I use a lot. A lot.
It's so hard. It's so hard to get away from.
It's great, because it's great. It's burning. It's got a lot of passion, like lyrics.
Yeah. So yeah, fire is a great word, phrase. Fontiferous is a word too.
Yeah.
Are you saying that?
I also say soul a lot. Soul and fire, and burning and devil. I mean, what? Eternal flames. I say a lot of these things.
Yeah. No. Okay. Cool. I think that's it. I think that's all our questions. I accidentally deleted one that I was saving, so I'll have to type that one and save it.
We'll never know.
It was one for Chelsea.
Oh, that's right.
This is what happens. I accidentally deleted one of the questions from Discord. Hopefully that person's still a patron and can resubmit it, or I'll remember what it was. Anyways, thanks for joining us. Sorry, Bunny's phone died. She was calling in for this Bennettarium.
She's bearing it right now, so just give her some time to more, and I think we'll be all right.
So this was an extra long podcast this time. Thanks for joining us. Do you want to outro somehow?
Yeah, Bennettarium is done right now. It's done.
Yeah, woo, we're done. I was like, oh boy, are we in for like 5 minutes of nonsense? No. Okay, I'm gonna end the recording for the podcast now.